Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nut podcast number 1939. Hang on. Yeah, it should be 39 up there, not 38. Thought I had that one right. I forgot to change the day number. I got the description right. I just forgot to change the day number. Oh, that's going to be fun now, isn't it? I don't know if I can change all this at the same time. Oh well, we'll figure it out later. So we've had an exciting 24 hours. Let's see. Tuesday we talked about so hang on. Oh, jeepers. Sorry, my brain's a little fried at the moment, a little over the place. Simply because it's like this. So we had Networking Riches yesterday, which we talked about yesterday. We're on late today because I just got off my call for our Platinum Inner Circle coaching call, which took place tonight, which I totally forgot about. So that's why I'm on late. So I apologize for that. We had Networking Riches day 2. I've got these big suitcases under my eyes because I didn't get to sleep till I didn't get to bed till after midnight last night, thanks to a scorpion. So yes, it's been an exciting 24 hours. Went to we're getting ready for bed last night, and Zeffie was already up on the bed and on her side of the bed, and I was getting ready to get into bed, and so I thought, I haven't done my teeth yet. So I walked across and I usually walk around the house in bare feet, unless it's cold, and then I'll wear my slippers. But I had bare feet on because I was getting ready to get into bed. And so I walked across our carpet, that was fine, into our bathroom, which was fine, walked across to from the bathroom door, directly straight ahead to the hand basin, got my electric toothbrush out, put the toothpaste on, started using it. And then if I'm not going to sit on the toilet while I brush my teeth, I wander. I walk around. And then I turn around, and just where I had been walking is a scorpion walking across the thing. I don't scream or anything. There's one thing I noticed about myself. In some crisis situations, I'm completely calm. When the adrenaline drops, that's when the issue starts. So I'm brushing my teeth with this electric toothbrush. I look around across it, and there's a scorpion walking on the arm. I'm like, you are not staying in this house. It says, no, you are not staying in this house. So I had to step over it to get into the bedroom. I'm still brushing my teeth. I'm holding onto my electric toothbrush and brushing my teeth while this is going on. And I go and get my slipper, and I come back, had to switch hands with the toothbrush, whack this thing. I just heard a weird noise. And then we're like, oh, that's me. I have a crate down here, and my leggings brushed against it. And so I whack this thing, and then I go back, and I make sure it's dead, and then I leave the slipper where it is, and then I go back to finish brushing my teeth. And the cool thing is this toothbrush has a 30-second timer, so it pauses every 30 seconds, so you can switch, whether you're doing outside or inside teeth, up or down. And then I finished doing that, washed it all up and everything else, and then made sure the thing was still dead, not moving. Its tail had disconnected. Part of its tail's on. If you go look at my Facebook page, it's on there. So you've got the body of the scorpion, and then there's a piece of its tail that is on the bottom of my slipper. And so I step over that, go get the phone to come back, take pictures of it, because nobody's going to believe this story. And when you look at the picture of the scorpion, it looks like it's mechanical. Like it's got these these pieces that go across with rivets. And I'm like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, because I've been in the States, it'll be in February, it'll be 28 years since I arrived in the States. This is the first time I have come across a live scorpion. I have seen one dead scorpion laying over on the thing there, and it was one of those big ones, dark colored ones, and I've seen dark colored ones inside resin. It's the first time I had seen one as blonde as this one was. And I'm like looking at it going, that kind of looks like mechanical stuff, and I'm still not really freaking out at this point. I'm just like, okay, how do we get rid of this thing now? Because I didn't want to pick it up with my hands, because sometimes they can still sting you when they're dead. I knew that much. And so I'm like looking around, and I thought, surely I've got a magazine somewhere here in the bedroom. So I finally found a piece of card, and then I found like an old business card somewhere. So I put it down there, and I swept it up with with the business card onto this piece of card and flushed it all down, tipped it into the toilet and flushed it away. So it's somewhere off in the water, in the sewer system now of Surprise, Arizona. And then it was after that, and as I'm picking this thing up, I'm thinking, I've got to get out of this house. Don't like these things. I hope there's no more. I don't like scorpions, don't like poisonous things. This is why I do not go tramping here in the States, because of these dangerous things that can sting, poison you with some way, or there's slithery things and wild animals and stuff. This is why I don't like walking. As much as I love tramping and hiking, I can't do it here in the States because of these things like scorpions. And I'm like, and this is in my house. I need to move. And so and then my brain goes, you're moving in about 6 months. You'll be fine. 6 to 7 months. You'll be fine. And I'm like, I got to put up with this for 6 to 7. I'm having this whole conversation with myself. And Zeffie's laying there on the bed just watching. This is her bedding, with her head just resting, just watching everything going on. And then I finally get all that cleaned up, and I washed the floor where this thing was, because I didn't know if it dripped venom or not when its tail got detached. I don't know. I didn't want to walk in it. And I was like, I suppose I have to wear slippers all over the place now. There are some days you just like the coolness of the tail. And I'm flat-footed. I hate wearing footwear, even if because I have no arches, so I'm very particular about the footwear, and usually I just go bare feet. That's how I grew up. So then I go and sit on the bed, and that's when, because everything was all cleaned up. The floor was now cleaned. The scorpion had been flushed away. Didn't see any other signs of scorpions around, and I finally sat down on the bed next to Zeffie, and I go, well, that was an adventure, wasn't it? And I was like, oh, now what? If I found one, is there going to be others? What do I have to do? Am I going to be able to sleep tonight with that thing? Because I still had this picture in my head of these little strips that look like little pieces of metal with rivets on it. If you look on my Facebook page, you will see the picture of this thing. And somebody said, is that like a robot? Because it looks like it's got mechanical pieces and it's got wire coming out. And I'm like, look at this picture going, I think that wiring might be my hair. Yeah, when my hair gets long, it tends to fall out in places. And I think I molt more than what the dog does. I shed more than the dog does. I think there might have been a piece of hair. I'm not sure. It's all been cleaned up, so no idea. And that's when the panic hit, and then everything was sort of like, oh my gosh, are we going to be safe to sleep in here tonight? Is it going to crawl up on, do I need to tuck in the covers to make sure that it can't crawl up onto the bed? All of these. I'm going to have to put bright lights on when I get up in the middle of the night to make sure I don't step on one, because usually I have a lamp next to my bed and I turn that on, and it gives me enough light to see into the bathroom and the toilet and all of that sort of thing. So I don't have to turn on the bright. Am I going to have to now turn on the lights in the bathroom in the middle of the night? And so there's all these thoughts just start going through my head, and then I just start breaking out in sweat. The sweat just starts breaking out all over me, and I'm like, oh God, now I need to have a shower. I looked at the clock and it was like 11:50 something, and I'm like, I need to go to sleep. So then I was into the bathroom for a quick sponge bath, because there was no way I was getting into a shower, because they usually revitalize me, so I didn't want to do that. So I had a sponge bath instead. But that was when the panic and everything else came in, was after we had dealt with the scorpion, gotten rid of it, cleaned up after it. And then it was sort of like, sit down to relax. It's like, oh, what are this? What are that? And I go, worst case scenario, dreaming of it. And I am very thankful that when I got into bed, I read my normal paragraph to try and help calm myself down and everything. And then I went to sleep, and I woke up when the alarm clock went off at 5 o'clock this morning in the same position I went to sleep in. Like I slept like the dead. So if scorpions had crawled on me in the night, I wouldn't have known. But I'm sort of like worried. So all day I've been walking around, keeping an eye out wherever I walk. Most of the day I've had slippers on. Usually I'm running around in bare feet. But every time I've gotten up, I'm like watching where I walk to see if there's any signs of these things anywhere. And because I've got to think of Zeffie now too. And somebody says, oh, we'll do this, do that. And so I've already looked up online last night when I was in panic mode. Like, well, how can I get rid of these things? Can we do it with essential oils? Yes, lavender, cedarwood. And what was the other one? Peppermint. And I thought, well, peppermint I already do because of the ants. So why did these things come in anyway if I'm already spraying peppermint around the doorways and windows? Because I do that to keep the ants out. And cinnamon was the other one too. And cinnamon, I think cinnamon's one I've got to be careful with dogs. But cedarwood, I'm not sure about, so I'm going to have to go research to see if it's going to be okay to spray that around Zeffy. Although you can get cedarwood granules and spray, a cedar spray and stuff that you can spray around, which supposedly has cedarwood oil in it, and they say it's pet friendly. So I'll have to do some more research on that one. And somebody was telling me about this powder today, and I went and looked it up, and nowhere did I find that it was pet friendly. In fact, on several pet sites, dog sites, and that they were talking about don't use this around them because it has this particular chemical in it, which is toxic to dogs. I'm like, yeah, anything toxic to a dog, we're not having here. So that was our experience last night. And then we got up this morning and went for our walk, and Zeffy had a couple of episodes where her back end gave out on her again, because last night I was supposed to wash her ears out, but we got distracted with a scorpion. So that didn't get done. So it'll get done tonight. And so I ended up carrying her partway home this morning for, I walked down one street and I got to the end of the street and said, like, Zeffy, I got to put you down. You've got to, and she starts sort of like weaving a little bit. And one of the neighbors in the street, really, really nice lady, she sees me there with Zeffy and she stops and she goes, are you okay? And I explained Zeffy was having issues with her ears and her balance and stuff. She said, oh, do you want me to drive you home? I said, no, I'm just down there. And she kind of knew where I lived, but I wasn't quite sure. I said, no, I'm just at the end of the street here. And I said, she'll get her balance. And so I ended up walking Zeffy mainly down that street. And then she wanted to get down, so I let her down and she crossed the road. And we crossed the road. We go to walk across the road. She's doing it slowly, but she's still head up and she's doing a very slow trot across the road, but she gets there and she gets to the other side. So like, yes, I'm home. And she walked all the way up the driveway into the house and then went and laid, and then she goes and stands on her mat and just stands there. And I'm like, Zeffy, just lay down, please. I don't want you falling down. Just lay down. And so she finally lay down, and then she kept looking at the door and says, do you want to go outside? And so we went outside for a bit, and then she just stood there on the patio just looking around. And then she went and stood on the stones, because usually she goes and stands on the stones, and she was licking her nose a lot, which she does when she's about to throw up. And she'd already thrown up once on the walk, and that was after the first time I carried her. And so she kept looking like she was going to throw up. And then in the end, I said, do you just want to go inside? And so she turns around and walks back inside and goes to a water bowl and has this huge drink, then goes and lays down. And then about 20 minutes later, she was up and eating, and she's been fine for the rest of the day, even on her evening walk. So, but she got to have a really good day of rest since we had Networking Riches on. And the only time we were up was when we had breaks. And but we had day 2 of Networking Riches. It was awesome. Follow up, follow through. The recap from yesterday was amazing when people were telling us about things, about some of the nuggets that they picked up, some of the responses back from text messaging. And then we got into the follow up and the follow through. And then we got to do We got to do 2 breakthrough zones. They were awesome. They were amazing. We had 2 really cool people there with breakthrough zones, both at very different places in their business, and both with really cool businesses. One has a business. How would you describe it? It's like a concierge service for families that are having to move their parents into find an assisted living for their parents, and then they've got to do something with the family house. If the parents pass and the house has to be passed on to the kids and that sort of stuff, it's just like major transition in life with adult children with senior parents. And it's a concierge service that she has, and it's a really cool service with what she gets to do. Zeph? Oh, there you are. Thought you were somewhere else. You okay? Good girl. Thought I heard her whining. And then the other one has this, she designs these kitchens and bathrooms, and she took us into her, she was at her shop. And so she gave us a video tour of her shop. It's a great place. She has a full working kitchen in there, full working bathroom, so they get to see some of her designs that she's done. And but she'll design kitchens and high-end luxury, high-end kitchens and bathrooms. And it was just such an awesome business. And she had such a great setup there. But it was just a really cool day. And there was lots of different ideas on marketing and how to use this. And her store is not an open storefront for walk-in traffic. It's basically by appointment only. But we had, people had different ideas on how to use the space that she had. And But it was beautifully done. It was beautifully decorated. I mean, she just turns this thing around and I'm just sort of like, I love that. And then I saw her working kitchen area and I'm like, oh, I like that. And somebody asked about the cooktop and it was an induction cooktop. And I'm like, ooh, if I can't have gas, I like induction. So if I can't have gas, I want an induction cooktop. I do not want an electric cooktop. They take way too long to heat up. I'm all about the fast heat. I want pots. I want pans to heat up quick. I don't want to have to wait for pans to heat up. I hate doing that. So that's why I like gas. And if I can't have gas, then I want induction. So yeah, beautiful cooktop. And it was so much fun. And people were very engaged again today. I would have to say that this Networking Riches, and I probably said at the end of every Networking Riches that this was the best one so far. I've been attending these for over 10 years now, and this was probably the best one so far. And I'll say that on the next one. But we had a really good group of people attend both days, and it was good we got to know some of them a little better, and some of them were very quiet on screen, but very engaged in the chat area. I don't think I've been to a Networking Riches where the chat was so engaging. But even when we were doing the breakthrough zones, people were putting ideas into the chat and asking questions in the chat, which was awesome. Because sometimes we don't get that. And so it's good to get that, because then you can just, you bring those into the conversation. People ask questions and they get their questions answered and that sort of stuff. So it's been a very fun day. So, and then after that, it was lunchtime, because we didn't stop for lunch. And so I had a couple of things I had to do around the house. And then I said to Zeffie, I says, I think what's the name of it? Culver's, the frozen custard place that we have up the road. That they were doing a concretes for charity. Now their concretes are frozen custard, the frozen custard version of Dairy Queen's Blizzard, but they don't do the tip test. And I said to Zeffie, we've earned one of those. Let's go get one of those. And so we hopped in the car to go get that, and got my mushroom Swiss burger from there as well. And there is a guy that works there. His name's Ben. He's a sweetheart. But when I very first went to one of the first trips I did to Culver's, I got to meet Ben, and I'm just like sitting there just going, oh my gosh, he is almost a spitting version of my youngest stepson in the face. He looks almost exactly like my youngest stepson. And he happened to be on today. He goes, we haven't seen you for a while. I says, no, I haven't been in for a while. I said, just life just happens, and haven't been able to get up here for a while. So, but yeah, got to talk with Ben today for a little bit while he was serving me and drive through. And then we had to go wait for our food, and finally got that, and came home and enjoyed it. And then I had to get on, and then I had to take Zeffie for a walk, and then come back and get on for our mastermind group. So it's been a busy day on very little sleep. It would not have been very little sleep had there not been a scorpion in my bathroom last night. But yeah, it took a while for me to calm down from that, before I could finally resign myself, before I could finally talk myself into getting to bed and going to sleep. So yeah, the scary part came after I had taken care, because I turned around, looked at the scorpion and went, yeah, no, you are not staying in my house. And then I stepped over it, made sure I took a big step over it, went and got my slipper and came back and whacked it while I'm still brushing my teeth. So got to take care of the pigs, take care of the teeth. So anyway, that's it from us for tonight. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. I am back tomorrow night at my regular time of 6 p.m. Pacific. Yes, I am. So yes. Oh, and I have it. Oh, I should have put that on here. I have a challenge that I have been issued. And I'm going to change the QR. The QR code right now goes to Amazon store, because we're coming up with holidays. There's some gift ideas in there. Zeffie's got some gift ideas in her store. There's genealogy research tools. There's some travel item ideas, and there's books, got a book section. And we're also going to end up doing a holiday idea store as well, but that's not live yet. But everything else has gifts in it for the holidays and stuff if you want to start your shopping early. And I have been issued a challenge, and the challenge is to get more subscribers on my YouTube channel. So if you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. And tomorrow night I will have the codes all changed around and all of that sort of stuff. So if you scan the code, it'll take you right to it and we'll be good to go. And we'll do that for tomorrow night. So with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m.